time has come to take off the pop rivets holding the solar panel onto this T-top. This is the Trophy 1903. You might wonder why I have a solar panel on a fishing boat. I wouldn't blame you for asking. The reason is battery wouldn't stay charged, so I decided to try a solar panel. I had hopes that I would put a trolling motor on this and maybe that it would keep the battery somewhat more charged. Never did it. This boat never materialized. But I want to put this on my new boat. So this will go on the house battery side so that while I'm running electronics and all that, I'm at least keeping the batteries charged up, because this 100-watt panel uses next to nothing to run all the electronics, so it's not bad. Should work. And if not, if nothing else, it just stops me from running a cord over there that's going to melt on the ground again. I've made this pretty easy on myself. That is from the solar panel, so unplug there and there, and then I've got my wires going straight down. That goes to the lower part of the console. This is the upper part. See, it's up here. Now, I've made it really easy and convenient on this boat. I may have to extend this for the next boat. I'm almost positive, because literally the panel is there and there. That's the front too. So the panel is like directly over this. It couldn't be any shorter. And off it comes. Easy as that. See what I was saying about how short that cord is? I mean, it's crazy short. And here's the other half. You see that it does no longer have the solar panel. That's the PV. It's not lit. Still hooked up to the battery. And it's still set for, what is that? A sealed. I put an old Optima, yellow top Optima that came out of my truck in here. I've got the wires somewhat cleaned up. Like all boats, the wiring was a mess when I took ownership. Installed this fuse panel to give me flexibility, and the Raymarine is powered off of that. Anyway, I've spent a lot of time on this boat, but that's got to come off now. And then, yeah. Wait, I should be able to pull that. Yep. It's a 30 amp fuse because this is a 400 watt solar charge controller. I wanted to make sure the solar charge controller was fused for what it can do. So that's a 12 gauge wire going to it. So all that's kosher. Now I just gotta rip all that off. There it is, 100 watt solar panel on a boat. That's all it takes. This took no time to take out. This might be sad if I didn't already have my new boat and already have a place for every bit of that to go. It might be sad, because I put a lot of work into that old boat, and this boat's gonna get a little bit of work too. Now I've just got to start figuring out where it goes on here. This could fit right there, and I could fit a second one beside it. This boat has 2 batteries. So this, best I can tell, is just a starting battery. That is a starting and house battery. That will be coming out, as well as the one up front. What I want to do is add another house battery so that this can just start, and then the house battery can do house battery things. Add a power pole charge to replace that, which would charge that battery and my 3 trolling motor batteries up front, and then just get like a NOCO to charge this one. You guys know how much I love these if you've seen those videos. I hate these chargers. If you haven't seen it, I'll give you the synopsis. It's fused positive and negative, which violates the standards. It's got a 30 amp fuse, but that's not 30 amp rated wire for the length of it. Plus it's bundled, which also derates the wire. It literally says 15 amps per bank. So a 15 amp would have been totally fine. But anyway, I digress. So power pole charge, and then a NOCO up there, These are all things I got to figure out. This is why it takes so long to install, but it takes no time whatsoever to rip it all out. And I also want to upgrade this to a Blue Sea Systems, because I'll probably have a couple Blue Sea System stuff on here. I've already got a battery shunt, so I'll probably have that all on there and then have it all tied together. So here's the rooftop. You see it's very large. So I could actually put 1, 2, 3, 4. I could have 4 up here, and then maybe even one in the right there in the back, because this and that over there is outriggers. So just to keep this clear, so if I chop off, you know, in my mind, chop off from here to there, so I can use here to over there, I could still put another, golly, this wind is whipping. I mean, heck, there's 1, 2. No, not like that. I could put another 2 back here if need be. So I'm looking at a total of about 600 watts of solar that this roof will easily accommodate with no shadowing, because the VHF antenna is going to be up anytime I'm on water, because it has to be. So yeah, 600 watts of solar up here. Not bad. I came inside to finish this because it's so windy. Even with the windsock, I always kind of worry that you can't hear. That's the stuff that's been rolling around in my head as far as the solar on that. Plus, I've got a friend who says that 400 watts of solar won't do much with a trolling motor. And I'm really curious about that, because 400 watts is 400 watts. Granted, it's not a lot. I mean, heck, it's the same as putting solar panels on a Tesla. It's not going to do a lot, but every little bit might help. I don't know. And another thing, there is a place that I've gone with a buddy. We stayed at this fishing resort in Danville, Tennessee, right on the river over there, and it had no hookups. It had no electricity for the boat or anything. So since we've been there, just things like that mess with my mind. If I'm ever in an issue like that, would I be able to recharge it? The power pole charge obviously will work. That's what it's made for. That Yamaha motor has about a 35 amp generator. And yes, it is a generator. It's not an alternator. That's what they call it, is a generator. Which, honestly, is pretty crappy. It's a 2006 motor. Even in 06, there was electronics on boats. My old Mercury Optimax had a 65 amp alternator. And that's kind of what I was expecting with these Yamahas until I started looking and realized they're only 35 amps. But still, 35 amps is 35 amps. So if I can keep the house battery charged, then the power pole charge, when I fire up the motor, will go ahead and charge the trolling motors. So, I don't know. When it comes to electronics, I kind of geek out. Electronics are one of my favorite things. I've always loved like Knight Rider because of all the switches. I've always loved airplanes because of all the switches. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's just who I am. I've blabbed long enough. This has gone on way too long. Y'all don't need to know my life story. Anyway, y'all have a good one.